Everton and West Ham will both seek a return to winning ways in the Premier League when the two European chasers lock horns at Goodison Park on Sunday afternoon. Everton managed to take a point home from their clash against Manchester United before the international break, while West Ham, of course, fell to Brentford. The Premier League is back. We can park international football for, a month, Matt? I think it's a month before it comes back again.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the network. I am Anton. I'm joined by Stato, Everton, away from home, Goodison Park. How you feeling about it, mate?
I'm not sure. I mean, first of all, yeah, it's great to be back. I don't know. I don't like international breaks anymore. I saw the video you guys done last night. And I think you said, like, when you was a kid, you used to love, like, England, like, international fixtures. And now it's just like, get Wenger's idea in. Just chuck it all into a month and get rid of it. Because this break every, like, month just to do, like, some games that not worth it. But yeah. Everton is a tough game to come back from. The international break, to be honest. I mean, I think our recent history is quite good against them, but we generally don't travel well to Goodison Park. So,
nope.
Could have asked for an easier fixtures to come back on. I'm not going to lie. But it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It is what it is, mate. It is what it is. Before we move on, let's jump into the chat, see who's kicking about. Gary J, lovely eyes. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. Pete Chapman, good evening. Jakey Boy, glad you're up. It's half term, so you're allowed to stay up. I like that. All talking to each other. West Ham Irons, hello. Good to see you, mate. Troj. Troj, Chinese arrived. West Ham in 1 minute. Life is good. I love that, mate. Love that. Hope you've got it on the telly, mate. Hope you've got it on the telly. Ludders, as Russ calls you. Hope you're well. Neil from Down Under. Email from South Australia at 6:32 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Really cool. Loved it. Rhonda and Tony Tanti. Hi, Neil. You're there. Good to see you too. God, there's so many comments. I'm just trying to find where I actually go from this. Asger, Drew, Rosenberg, come on, you Irons. Andy Pepper, good evening all. Hope you're all well tonight. Come on, you Irons. Let's kickstart the season. I forgot. Jakey Boy's on his way to the game. He's there. Sorry, I know he's there. I've seen him. He put a picture up of his Sprite. He had a little cheeky Sprite earlier on. So yeah, interesting. Steve. Hi all, Crazy Call back again. We are, and then Neil, good to see you too. So, like we normally do, mate, let's jump straight into it and discuss Everton. Let's talk Everton. Is that coming through funny with the noise?
I didn't hear anything.
Interesting. So I don't know. Anyone in the chat there, just let me know. Was that some funky music going on in the background there? Because to me, that was very weird. I just heard weird noises. I'm going to try and play that one more time. And I'll know. No, it's not happening. I'm not going to play it. So it's time to talk Everton. Now, normally we do have an opposition fan that comes on, Mike from the Blue Boys Network. However, Mike couldn't make the live show tonight. He was all scheduled to come on, but he couldn't make the live show. Let me just see. Oh no. Yes, sounds like a skipping CD. Yeah, it wasn't working. Is that techno? No, it's not, mate. No, it's not. But he has sent us in a video where he talks a little bit about Everton. So let's go and have a little look and see what he says about Everton, Matt.
What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again from the Blue Boys Network representing Everton. Of course, it's a game of Goodison Park. You guys will know, and you guys will know me as well. So thanks for having me back on the channel. I was meant to be going live or doing a video with you guys, and you'd see probably, but unfortunately, it's just a bit late. I can't do it. But all the best to you guys after tomorrow's game. It's going to be a tough game at Goodison Park. A game that you've got two sides that are playing really well. I think West Ham. I think they've drew. I think they've drew one more game than we have, which is essentially where the points gap is. You know, both teams have started the season fairly well. West Ham have also got European commitments, and you know touch wood for you guys, it seems to be going fairly well as well. So, yeah, you've got David Moyes' experience, you know exactly what you're doing. You know, and who would have thought 15 years ago that you've got David Moyes managing West Ham, you've got Rafa Benitez managing Everton, so the irony there from all the old Merseyside derbies. Yeah, I think from a West Ham perspective, I think, you know, the fact that Calvert-Lewin's not involved, Charleston's not, you know, I think it's still very much up in the air about Luca Dean and Seamus Coleman. You could be playing a weakened Everton side tomorrow. The only thing I would say to counter that is this weakened side did go to Old Trafford and get a 1-1 draw, and I know obviously you guys also did really, really well at Old Trafford. I'm pretty sure you won the game, albeit it was in the Carabao Cup with a few changes. But, you know, you are a very, very good side. You're disciplined. You've got everything that you need in the right positions. You've got that little bit of, you know, quality on the ball with players like Ben Rama, who has been much better this season than last season. I liked Ben Rama. I liked him at Brentford. But I did feel at times he wasn't necessarily a Moyes player. And Moyes had the same thing with Kevin Morales at Everton in his time there. And Ben Rama has stepped up this season, doing a little bit more defensively, I would say, and looking a lot more dangerous. And, of course, Mikel Antonio speaks for himself. So it's going to be a tough game at Goodison Park. And I really do think that there's going to be goals in it. I truly believe there'll be goals in it. I think Everton, you know, Damari Gray, Andros Townsend have been scoring goals, getting assists. Doucouré's been brilliant. So, yeah, it's a tough game. It's what I've been saying is a European six-pointer, really, because, you know, Everton, from the start they've made, will have aspirations of Europe, albeit our squad is very thin. You know, the squad on paper is incredibly thin. And that's where we struggle with the injuries. You know, we do struggle getting 11 top players or good players out on the side because, you know, if you do pick up an injury, there isn't the equivalent on the bench for Everton. So, you know, when we're losing a Calvert-Lewin and a Richarlison, we're bringing in Rondon, who, no disrespect to Rondon, certainly hasn't found his feet in the Premier League just yet, albeit he probably just had a little bit of time to get fit again. We don't know about Yuri Mina. So again, he was on international duty, but he arrives very late last night. So, you know, what state is he going to be in to play a full 90 minutes? Again, who knows? And where West Ham will get joy is when Everton are attacking. Everton have gone very much counter-attacking side this season. But of course, on the counter-attack, you're always susceptible to losing the ball in the middle of the park. You've rushed your forwards forward to try and create that overload when you've, say, got, I don't know, most of your team up for a corner and, you know, you've left 3 or 4 back and Everton are charging with 4 or 5. If that ball gets turned over, it's very much back in the, you know, the West Ham favour if it's come from their corner, so if it come from your corner. So it's a challenge in that sense. I've predicted Everton win this game 2-0. I think it was a little bit ambitious. I can certainly see I could see West Ham winning. Let's make no bones about it. West Ham are a very good side, but Everton will go into the game confidence. They've lost once. It was a very disappointing result to a team that's lost today. So, you know, Everton don't want too many of those. And Goodison's going to be different this season than it was last season. You know, it was a fortress years ago. And then last season it was horrendous. Everton losing more games at home than I think they have in over 70 years or something stupid like that. West Ham were one of those sides that went to Everton and beat us, so Everton won't want that. So, yeah, I'm going with an Everton win, but look, all the best to West Ham. I've got a lot of time for the fans, the club, all of the players. You know I always have. You know, I really rate pretty much every player you've got in every position, you know, all the way from Sufel, Souček. You know, these are players that are relative bargains, really. And, you know, Declan Rice, Mikel Antonio. You know, these are players that just work hard. This is the David Moyes mould. Up and down, graft, leave their bollocks on the floor, and it's exactly why West Ham are doing so well, because, you know, they have got that mentality. It fits with the fans. I know the first time that Moyes was there was the clashes. I get it. I understand, but he's definitely been backed better this summer and last summer as well. And you're reaping the rewards now. So look, I hope you lose tomorrow, but I do mean it in the nicest possible way, and good luck for the rest of the season, guys. I'm leaving it there. Make sure you come subscribe to the Blue Boys Network, and of course, make sure you subscribe to these guys. They're fantastic content, great channel, and all the best, as I say.
To unmute ourselves, sorry. So apologies for that. The video was a little bit jumpy. I could make out everything that Mike was saying. You could totally make it out. There was a little bit of lag and a little bit of, you know, disjointed audio to video. But hey ho, thank you very much from Mike from the Blue Boys Network. And that was a really good insight into Everton, mate. We were talking about it before we came on live. So give me your kind of rundown, mate, of Everton and what Mike was saying.
They're very similar to us in the way they play. They're a very counter-attacking team. Shouldn't be surprising. Anyone that watched Newcastle under Benitez will know the way that he'll want them to play. Either four at the back, like we do with two in front, or they play five at the back sometimes. It'll make them compact and tight at the back.
Mm-hmm. But
very much like us as well. They haven't found a formula for being the attacking team. And like us, we're actually very similar teams right now. Similar style of play, similar style of formations, both with decent teams. But once we get a couple of injuries, you start finding that we're both lacking a bit of depth.
Yeah,
I think we're only a couple of points for us in the league as well. I think if we, if we win, we go level with them. So
he mentions though a few potential players that might not make the game tomorrow. So what do we know about players that might not make it?
So you've got centre back Yerry Mina, possibly
Colombian international centre back,
could start. Most likely be on the bench. He played for Colombia yesterday morning.
Yeah,
early hours of Friday morning. Had to fly back. Anyone that saw the game this morning, Liverpool game, Alisson and Fabinho didn't play. They were in Madrid. They played for Brazil. They couldn't fly back in time. So would you risk him flying like a 10, 12-hour flight and then land today, put him starting tomorrow? Probably not.
Yeah.
Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are out. So that's their two, I'd say they're two big guns.
Yeah.
You know, Calvert-Lewin scored a lot of goals last season.
And a lot of goals against West Ham.
He did, yeah. Richarlison's always a threat as well.
Yeah.
Delph and Gomez are out, so that does leave him a bit short in the midfield as well. Delph hasn't really featured this season, but Gomez has featured in parts, but he's still trying to recover. The other two, Digne and Coleman.
But before you kind of talk about those in particular, it's not like they're struggling in midfield. Well, not you could say they're struggling in terms of injuries, but
they've got Alan Decore.
Well, there's one player I want to talk about, and it is Decore. I mean, he's playing out of his socks right now, isn't he, for Everton?
He has been brilliant, probably since they bought him last year. They picked him up from Watford when they got relegated.
Yeah.
And he's been a very, very good signing.
He's got 4 assists this season. He's top of the ranks for passes for them. He's up there in the ranks for Everton for shots as well. The amount of ground he covers back and forth throughout the whole game. He's a phenomenal midfielder, and he's kind of like showing Everton that he's becoming pivotal to how they progress moving forward in their season, a bit like what we have got in our midfield. And you know, the way he's been playing this season, Matt, you can actually see the battle in that midfield tomorrow with, you know, the supposed struggling duo that we've got in the middle of the park. I mean, what do you think from that?
Well, he is very much in the role of like a Rice or Souček. He is an all-action midfielder. He was at Watford. They seem to have found a way this season to get more out of him. Like they've given him more, much like, should we say, Rice. He's been given more of a role to get forward this season. Like they've taken the brakes off him, letting him go further forward. It does seem to work out better for him when they play him as like almost a free role rather than as midfield 2. He's going to be one to watch out for. The midfield battle is where the game could be won or lost tomorrow.
Yeah,
you think probably going to be Allen and Doucouré versus Rice and Souček.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, I mean, at the end of the day, though, you know, Benitez. I mean, we all know about Benitez. We West Ham were linked to potentially bringing him in at some point throughout our West Ham lives. He's gone. Every club he's really gone to, he's gone and done a job for. And I think what Everton fans are currently feeling is the kind of come down. You know, where do you go from Ancelotti and where do you go from James Rodriguez? Wow. You know, they've both gone, but the point of the matter is that when they signed, you thought at that point Everton were going to build around these two people, and you know, for them, Ancelotti backed off back to Real, and James Rodriguez just didn't really. He started off really well, and then picked up a couple of niggle injuries, which he's always kind of had, any calf problems, and now he's playing it in Qatar, and he just hasn't really taken to life in England, really, has he?
I mean, it was always a strange one when he came to Everton. Like, that was, for me, you look at one of the ones where you thought, how have they pulled it off? Why have they pulled it off?
Yeah.
Why would Madrid let him go? I know he went out on loan to Bayern Munich, but I think he done quite well out there, if I remember, he was in Germany. I don't know if maybe Ancelotti was a big bit of the pulling power, but the thing is that they've spent a lot of money. Like, they have spent a lot of money. And
you can see that again.
I'm not joking. I think in the last 5 years, they spent like 300 million.
Yep.
350 million. And it was a make or break season with Ancelotti last year. Like, yeah, maybe you could have said it would have been this year. I don't think he ever envisaged going back. I don't think anyone saw that was going to happen, like Real Madrid. But they needed to win something or finish higher last season, like they did for the amount of money they spent. And like, I don't know if it's ever true. I mean, they didn't really spend any money in the summer. They brought in Damari Gray for $1.5 million and Townsend on a free.
Yeah, but tell you what, though,
for good signings. But the point I was going to make is, I think they brought Benitez in, because they needed a manager that could succeed without spending money.
Yeah,
you know, that he's brought in. So I mean, they brought in Begovic from Bournemouth as a backup goalkeeper. They and Rondon. They got Rondon on a free. So he brought in smart players to fill holes in the squad, but he didn't spend a lot of money. It's something he'd done at Newcastle, and then they got rid of him and brought in Steve Bruce and gave him like 190 million to spend. It was like 100 million more than Benitez ever got.
Yeah,
but it was only ever going to go that way. There was rumours that it was financial fair play. Like, financial fair play's finally caught up with them and they couldn't spend any money this summer.
Yeah.
So bringing a manager that's tactically, like, he's not a poor manager, Benitez. He showed that at Newcastle. He'll always get the max. He's a manager like Moyes that will get the 100% maximum best he can get out of every player.
Yeah.
So it's not.
And this is the thing, though. This is why you're looking at players like Townsend. You know, Townsend, for me,
I'll tell you what.
I know
I would 100% taken him.
Yeah, I think 100%. I would have as well. Absolutely. He offers you a new dynamic when you go down that wing. Like, he's still got it. He's still pacey. He's still clever, and he can absolutely ping a shot. He can hit the target from distance, and I think he's got 3 goals this season already. You know, he's showing signs of the Townsend that we all know, and of what maybe West Ham fans would have taken a risk. I mean, I think you've got 3 players on 3 goals at Everton. You've got Damari Gray, who of course used to play for Leicester, went off to Wolfsburg, was it, or something like that in Germany?
I'll say like Leipzig, or is one of the German teams.
Like yeah, and then came back on a cut price deal back to Everton. I mean, he's another quality player as well. They've got in the ranks.
He was a weird one.
Yeah,
because he never worked out. Like he seemed to, he started really promisingly. I think around the same time as Maddison.
Yeah,
and he just went off the boil. German team took a gamble on him, but they gave him like a £1.5 million release clause. They basically gave him a release clause for the same amount they paid for him. Yeah. Maybe that's the agent. Maybe the agent was like, we're going out of Germany because he was trying to rekindle something. He didn't really work out in Germany, but he's come back and he looks like he's still in the business. So
yeah. Well, before we move on and talk about the Everton lineup that we think will happen, here's some information that you need to know for the game tomorrow afternoon. Honestly, don't think I can keep playing that. The noise is awful. I don't know what's going on with our audio tonight. It's absolutely lost the plot. I really do apologise for that, everyone. It's just
so actually, when it plays for me, I don't hear it. I have to have the option to turn the sound on. So I was just reading. I was like, "Yeah, it's good for me. I can't hear it."
It's ridiculous, but I want to. I'll need to sort that out. But what I will do is I'll read you some. I'll give you some stats. I'll give you some stats for the game. Need to know is Everton have won more Premier League games, 27, and scored more Premier League goals, 87 against West Ham than they have versus any other side in the competition. West Ham have won 2 of our last 3 Premier League away games against Everton, as many as we had in our previous 21 visits to Goodison Park. We're looking to win consecutive away league games against Everton for the first time since March 1930. Everton have won all 3 of their Premier League home games so far this season. They last won each of their first 4 at Goodison Park in a league campaign back in 78-79. West Ham's duo Said Benrahma and Mikel Antonio have created 14 chances for each other in the Premier League this season. West Ham have lost 2 of our last 3 Premier League games, more than any we had in our previous 9 combined. However, away from home, West Ham are unbeaten in 6 Premier League matches, won 4, drew 2, with West Ham having a longer such run in the competition back in January 2009. Everton have won 7 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season. Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin has scored 5 goals in his last 4 appearances against West Ham in all competitions. Andres Townsend has been directly involved in 8 goals in 9 games in all competitions for Everton as well. So there you go. There's some things that you need to know. With IT, I suggest turning it off and back on again. Listen, I apologise, and I hope it doesn't do it with all the videos. Absolutely, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. So this is a starting lineup that Everton put out against Manchester United when they drew with them. Now, what we have heard and what we believe is that Mina could or may or may not make the game. Digne is the same as well. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see many changes?
So I did a bit of digging and found my way onto reliable Everton news website, and the team they've gone with is Pickford in goal, which I don't mind at all because in the Premier League he's absolutely awful. I don't understand how he plays. He's like 2 different people when he plays Everton in England. He's not awful. He's a very good shot stopper, but he always has a mistake in him, which he doesn't do for England, and he seems to do it on a regular for Everton. So this team selection is based on 2 last-minute people making it, which is Coleman and Digne. They think it will be Coleman, Godfrey, Keane, and Digne. So Mina will be out.
Yeah.
They don't think Mina will make it.
Okay.
Doucouré and Allen as midfield 2.
Mm-hmm.
Townsend will stay on the right-hand side. Gray will stay in the middle. I think Iwobi will come in on the left.
Wow.
With Rondon up front.
Rondon up front. There you go. I mean, listen, they've got options. They do have options, and I think we should fear every team we come up against. But it needs to be West Ham firing on all cylinders, and that's the key thing that we need to have. Anyway, listen, let's enough talk of Everton. Let's move on to our beloved club. Let's talk West Ham, mate. Music's working. The music is working. Now, I know Russie B done the press conference yesterday, but let's take a look and see what the gaffer had to say in relation to some of the stuff. So he goes on and talks about the plans. Probably like everybody else, we've probably got one or two injuries, one or two people coming back from international duty that we'll have to look after. But it looks like this international break has taken its toll on a lot of people, and we are no different. We might have some people who are not available. What do you think of that, mate? Changes are in the...
Yeah, I think there'll be a few changes.
Yeah.
We will leave it for now, but I think there's a few people that might be injured that ain't going to make it. One random rumour I've seen on Twitter that I can't confirm anywhere, but we'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, I think he's just being honest. I think he's right.
Yeah.
Like we've seen a lot of the teams having to change players around and said the whole South American thing.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Let me move on.
He goes come back with two COVID cases, didn't they?
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, and they missed the game.
Everyone's struggling across the board.
Yeah. Moyes goes on current form. I think we've had a really good start. We're in the cup competitions. We've done great in Europe. We're still in the Carabao Cup. We're playing in the Premier League as well, which we're trying to manage for the first time in European football. So I actually think we've had a really good start. We've had a disappointment last minute in the last game against Brentford, but we're not going to dwell on that. That is for sure. We move on and keep it positive because the team have done so well. The players have done a great job. He then moves on and talks about Antonio. I think he's been firing all cylinders, and I hope he's well rested, and I hope that he's got some good training in. He chose not to go with Jamaica in the end because we felt some of the logistics weren't correct, but overall he is back, and I hope he can continue in good form he's been in since the start of the season. That was the right decision for him not to go, to be honest. I'm glad he didn't go. I think some people there's been a mixture of fan base going, well, what's the point in you bloody well signing up for Jamaica? But I think I don't mind them playing for Jamaica if it's managed in this manner. Logistically, it wasn't going to work. COVID restrictions in place.
I don't know when their last fixture was, but obviously the other American qualifiers, the South American teams, I said it all played like some point over Friday.
Yeah.
It seemed to be late, like between like 10 p.m. Thursday night and like 2 a.m. Friday morning. So
yeah,
it would have been back in time. Probably not to play this weekend.
Yeah.
I do feel a bit sorry for him though, because I don't know how the results went, but I know if they didn't win, basically if they win all their games, they weren't going to qualify anyway, because they had a really bad loss his first game. It's almost like he's giving himself to Jamaica, and one fixture in, it's like he's pretty much done already. He's not going to go now. He's not going to play.
No, absolutely.
When he probably should have been playing for England. Yep.
Let's move on, though. He goes on to talk about Souček. He says, I think Thomas gets the praise certainly from in here. We know exactly what Thomas is worth it and exactly what he can do. We're pushing him hard to get the goals he got last year because he was very good in his goal numbers last year. We like his work ethic. In fact, we love it, and we're now saying we want him to get back. He's just missing a couple of chances, or they are not quite falling for him. He's a real threat in the box as well. So we're all hoping he can start to get a few goals. He's very good in the running stats. He goes on then, and I'll come on to this in a second. He goes on to talk about Souček and Rice. If we could get the two of them to score 10 goals each, that would be great. At the moment, Declan is slightly in front, but I think that Thomas, with his aerial power, will get us goals as the season goes on. Declan has different abilities. Declan's got a shooting ability and other attributes which will get him goals as well. So I'm actually hoping that we ended up with two midfielders with good goal numbers this season. Is that him stamping his authority on the two potato salad and rice, and letting people know that, listen, don't be concerned about these two fellas getting rest, because they ain't getting rested.
He's just saying, isn't it? He's just. I know people will not be questioning him. Always Rice. You know, people saying, Souček's not. I said he looks out of form. I think the statement he's out of form is correct. I think people saying he looks leggy. I mean, you can't say he looks leggy when he's still at the top of the running stats. Like for the league, not just West Ham, for the league, he's run more per game and more total than anyone else in the league. So the running's still there.
Yeah.
They're just trying to rework the balance. You know, the balance worked very well last year because Deck just sat and Souček can make all them late runs in. This year, they're having to take it in turns. And Souček's adjusting to it. But also, we haven't, Souček's, people forget. I mean, look, as far as I can remember, off the top of my head, he scored, I think, one goal properly from open play last year away at Villa, where he made, when Lingard was like Lingard's first game, and he made like a third man run beyond the last defender, got played in and put it in the bottom corner. Apart from that, everything Souček scored was in the box from a corner or a cross. You know, it was either a dead ball or a ball whipped in when he was making the late run. We haven't scored from a set piece this season, you know, so his numbers are going to be down. He really is a set piece player. You know, someone you try and pick out a corner, which, you know, maybe other people should be scoring more goals, because if people are double marking Souček because they know he's a threat for them, someone else should be scoring them. But
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I said, we'd done a show last night and we had people coming on and they were talking about it, and you know, there was a mixture of opinions. Really, there was. I think most people agreed that they think that Souček needs to take a rest. But my concern is, and we'll talk about the starting 11, that Moyes won't make big changes. Sorry, a lot of big changes in one game. And I think there are going to be some reasonable sized, chunky changes made for the game tomorrow that I don't think that he would want to mix up that Souček and Rice thing, which makes me think that we will see changes rung for the Europa League game against Genk. Yeah,
I think we will. I saw a stat the other day only come up because someone was injured and wasn't playing this weekend. I know Ward Prowse was banned, so he couldn't play this weekend. So his run of like consecutive Premier League games that goes back like 3 years is over.
Yeah.
Someone else is now in charge on like 62 or 63 games consecutively. The next person behind him, I think, was Souček.
Yeah.
He's played 58 games in a row.
Yeah.
And then just behind him was Bowen. He's played 55 in a row. So, Souček's getting the games in.
There you go, lads. Stato's in it. Stato's on form. There you go. So, that's what we've got him on for.
He's not going to drop Souček until Souček isn't available to play. I don't think he's missed a game since he come in. I think he's played every single Premier League game since he moved.
Yeah, he's
not going to drop him.
Yeah, no, I can't see that either. To
not
be honest,
in the Premier League anyway.
Well, listen, I'm going to give everyone in the chat an opportunity to let them tell us who they think and who they would like to be in their starting 11. So you've got a choice here. You can give us what you want as a starting 11 and what you think Moyes will do as a starting 11. So start putting them in the comments now, please. So this is where we really get to start to dissect the team, and we can talk about the team a little bit more. We kind of gloss over a few things and we say, things until we get to this point and we can start to build the team. We'll bring the team into the screen like we always do. But before we do it, I do always say that, what was I going to say there, Matt? My mind's just gone totally blank. Let's start, let's start dissecting the team then. Everton tomorrow, away from home. We've coming up against what you could call as a pacey side that do have goal scorers in their team. Now, it's touch and go whether some of those goal scorers will start or not. However, let's take into consideration the following when we're talking about the goalkeeper, and let's bring them out here for everyone to see. Obviously, there are two keepers in contention here, and that's Areola, Fabianski. Fabianski, who recently just retired from international football, which I think is good for West Ham fans and good for West Ham because we're not going to have a player travelling all over the world for all these games, especially at his age. But questions were asked about his form as of late. So, with that in mind, what do you do for the game tomorrow?
Areola.
Is that you saying that because you think Moyes will do it?
Yeah. I've always said, and Moyes has always stuck to this, that he doesn't drop someone until they've had a bad game. And I don't think Fabianski's been playing well. I think his shot stopping is always what it has been, but he's been making a lot of mistakes. I think at some point you have to address the fact he's making the mistakes consistently this season. Drop him. Otherwise, how do you set the standard for the rest of the team if you're like, Fabianski just plays? Oh yeah, he's made a mistake. He's made another mistake, but I'm going to play him again. I'm going to play him again. At some point, you have to drop him.
No. Something I want to add to this equation, though, Matt, is that we are talking about what Moyes has said. Moyes has said that we've not come back from international duty unscathed. So if we've not come back unscathed, we're expecting changes to be made.
Yeah.
Now, the chances of Fabianski coming back fine are very high.
Oh, Fabianski.
So making this change is already one humongous change.
Nah, it's not.
So on the basis of what Moyes has said in his press conference, could we see Fabianski keep his position for Everton game?
I don't think he will. I generally think that now is the time to give Areola a go. I think he's been around the team now for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Areola didn't go away, so he's had 2 weeks on the training ground, making sure that he understands what everyone else is doing. I'm not being funny. If you actually think about it, the only guy in the back four that went away was Fabianski.
Yeah.
None of the defenders and Areola didn't go. So they've all had the time to sit there and train and learn and understand and get on the same wavelength.
Yep.
For me, it's the perfect time to play him.
Right. I agree with you. Right. Let's go formation then. Let's go formation. I mean, I've said last night that there's a time and a place when I think that Moyes will move to a back five. Now, there's a small percentage, mate. I'm talking tiny. I'm talking 10% of me that thinks that he'll play five at the back tomorrow. But in actual fact,
I've got confident. 2 teams in front of me that I wrote down, and one of them is five at the back.
Yeah, but I don't think he. I'm saying it because I'm trying to be a little bit devil's advocate on it. But I just feel like, yeah, no, I think he's going to go with the four. Loads of people in the comments, Trosh, Steve are saying Areola. Everyone's totally all over the shop, like in terms of
because it's Everton, because it's Goodison Park, because there was no fans there last year. I think even though he won there last year, he'll want to do it in front of the fans.
Okay,
I don't think he'll go defensive, especially considering that Everton are going to be the team that has to attack.
Okay, for me, I agree with you. Then for me, I think there's going to be four at the back, but for me, I think there's two dead certs in this, and I'm going to see if you agree with me. Cressy and Zuma.
Yes.
Right, so I'm putting Creswell in there, as you can see, and let me find cheeky Zuma. Where is he? Kurt Happy Zuma.
Mr. Happy.
Himself, Mr. Happy, yeah. He sits in there nicely. Now, I'm going to move into the right back position because we know Soufal has been injured. We do know he's been injured. And we're not sure if he's going to be back up to fitness. So is this going to be one of the enforced changes that he's going to have to make?
Yes, but I don't know if you're going to pick the player that I am.
Right.
So I did a bit of digging.
Okay, so I'm going to bring out, and unless you think something's different, the two that could be in question to start there could be these two, Johnson and Fredericks.
Well, I did a bit of digging, and from what I can see, it's only one person that is in question to start.
Right.
From what I read, the only one available to start is Johnson.
It's Johnson. And that was the player that I would have put in there.
From what I read, the other two aren't ready.
Yep. So we'll take Fredericks out, and I think that I don't think Sufal will be ready for this game.
No.
And so there you go. Already we have made 2 big changes here. To be honest, let's have a look and see what the comments are saying. GP saying Chris is too slow. Play Masuaku. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. Right, okay. The second centre back position, right? I'm going to bring Diop out. I'm going to bring Ogbonna out, and I'm going to bring Dawson out. And
I'm really upset. Like, I'm really upset.
Right? Why?
Because I wanted today, or the game tomorrow, to be when we finally get Areola, Zuma, and Diop together in a Premier League game. However, with Johnson with Johnson coming in at right back, I don't think he'll change it that much. So on that basis, I think it'll be Oggy.
Okay, I'm going to make a little case for something here. I think that Moyes has the confidence in the squad that he's built. Genuinely believe it. I think he's going to have an eye on the Genk game as well. So I'm trying to put up players who can play against who. We've got a big lad who plays for Genk, the forward, 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", and I think Oggy's style will suit that game more. I think Oggy needs a Europa League game and Diop needs a Premier League game, and this is a massive decision, but he's already hinted at the fact that there's going to be some changes there, and I think that Diop could slip into that position.
See, I want to see Diop. This is what I actually want to see. Yeah. Right? I just think,
but is that too big a bold move?
I don't know because you know what? I don't think Moyes would think it was.
Yeah,
I think, like you said,
and Steve Irons thinks it should be Diop.
Moyes has said he wanted 4 first choice centre backs that he could play. He didn't say, I want 2 first choice and 2 second choice. I want 3 first choice and 1 backup. So I think he thinks at any point he could rotate it. So you know what? I would happily see that. That would be my... Obviously, you'd rather probably have Sufal, but you know what? For what's available, that would be my first choice back 4.
But do we think it's going to happen?
That's what I've got written down.
Okay, so are we going to commit to this then? Are we going to go big and bold?
Yeah.
I honestly think Oggy would be suited to the game against Genk. Go and get the 3 points. Kind of try and close down the group stage of
that would pretty much sort us out. 3 wins from 3.
I think Oggy would do well with that rest. I know he's just had a rest, but come up against the big lad. I mean,
and also, like I was going to say, those 3. If you look at that back 3, like I say, the goalkeeper and the 2 centre backs, they've potentially had all week. They've had 2 weeks together to get the training, get the communication, get the understanding.
Yeah.
So what better time to unleash it?
Yeah, of course. Let me bring in the 4, you could say, people that are in contention to do the protecting in the back. I mean, to be honest with you, Matt, I don't see this changing whatsoever.
I don't know why you put 4 on the screen. I don't know why you've done it.
I genuinely think we will see Krul against Genk.
We will.
I really do. Yeah. So I think he won't be seen tomorrow. I think Noble will be sitting kindly on the bench and possibly be seen against Genk.
I don't think he'll be on the bench.
No.
I think he'll be up there. I don't think he'll be on the bench.
So we're going to go for Rice and
Souček. Rice and potato salad. Yeah.
Let's put them nicely dotted in there. And let's see what everyone in the chat is saying whilst we're doing this. Hope you are enjoying these visuals when we're doing them. Jay Woods is saying Moyes will stick with Oggy. Steve Irish is saying if we can play this French triangle, it will be the way forwards. P. Gads is saying I think Crazy is best when Arthur's on with him. Vinay is saying I would play Dawson. I think he's upped his game. And listen, I don't think he's ever really downed his game. I think he's had a couple of mistakes, but who's not really in the defence? And that's the thing. Yeah. Oggy against Brentford wasn't great, and Zuma against Brentford wasn't great either. Anil's saying perfect time
first half. No one was good against Brentford. Let's be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Anil's saying perfect time to try the French trio after the international break and 3 relatively poor performances. Yep, absolutely. Totally agree with you. Right, so they're in there. Shall we just go for the obvious ones then? Are we putting Antonio in top?
Yeah, chuck Antonio up. He's had a 2-week rest, so we'll chuck him in.
I mean, to be brutally honest...
This is where I'm going to have something different to you.
Oh, wow. So, okay.
because I said I've done a bit of hunting. Now I can't get this confirmed, but there's someone that you're going to pull across that I think isn't fit and isn't playing.
Okay. So you think this man is not going to play tomorrow?
Yes.
I mean, listen,
Mr. Pablo.
I was gonna go with the rest of the team unchanged because I've made 3 changes.
I don't think this is a choice though. This one.
Right.
What I read is this is enforced. I read that he's injured.
Right. Okay. He's picked up a knock from.
If he was fit, then yeah. If he was fit, I wouldn't even question the front 4.
Yeah.
But I read that he's not fit. I read that he's one of the ones that's come back with a knock.
Right. Okay. So let's take the gamble. Chuck Fornals out. Fresh fielder. Sky's getting nothing on these graphics. If only we could do them a lot better. I would honestly, it'd get you. It would be exciting. I see you have pending updates. You should reboot soon as that Windows Feast. Steve Irons, Pablo looked okay coming on for Spain. I think he did, but I think he, Matt's, I'm going to put the faith into what Matt said. He's obviously done his homework. So you're making a big, bold statement. I mean, I don't know.
I'm gambling on it, but you know what? I would not have any problem at all if the team got tomorrow and he was starting there at all.
Right, I tell you what. Then before we go down with Pablo, let's just be brutally honest here. Bowen on the right,
absolutely.
Yeah, Benny through the middle.
That depends.
But then that would be too many big changes, mate. That's like
that's
5 changes.
If Fornals is fit, yes, it will be Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals. If he's fit. Yeah. If he's not fit, I think Benny moves out to the left-hand side.
Right, okay. And puts Vlasic in here.
Yes.
Okay. So no Yarmolenko, 2 goals in the international break, 4 goals away from Shevchenko's records.
Unless he's going to play him up front. No.
No Lanzini.
You know what? Because it's Moyes and because it's Everton, I could see him starting Vlasic.
Yeah.
How many times do we sell a player and then they come back and we're like, they're going to score today because they're playing back against us?
That's a good shout. Maybe this could be the return.
Yeah, it's the return of Vlasic to Everton.
Yeah. So here, Anil's saying no Fornals means Masuaku or Vlasic coming in.
Yeah.
Trosh is saying Benrahma didn't play for Algeria, did he? Not sure, actually. Crazy call. I don't think he did play game. Crazy call, Benrahma, Vlasic, Bowen. Liam DA saying, what about playing Rice as centre attacking midfield and playing Suchek and Krul behind Diop? Actually, someone made that point. Yes.
Like a midfield 3.
Let me just bring him back in. Put him right there. Someone had suggested doing...
Take Vlasic out.
Yeah, taking...
Basically play like a midfield 3.
Yeah, well, they did do that before, like when we had... It was actually Noble as well.
Yeah, it was Noble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Noble played the number 10.
Yeah. I don't see it tomorrow. I see how it could work against specific teams. But I do kind of like that because what you've got here is a team in the back line. I mean, if this is if Fornals is injured, but let's take the gamble and take the risk. He's injured, right? Let's put him out there. And this is what our predicted 11 is for the game against Everton tomorrow. And really, by doing this, we're committing to 4 big changes, of which 2 are enforced.
But also, you're committing to Ariola and Fabianski. I've got no issue with either one of them starting at any point. I don't think that's as big as you're thinking it is.
Yeah.
Because they're 2 number 1. If that wasn't Ariola and that was like Nathan Trott, say the entire first team goalkeepers all went down with COVID and they had to frigging pull back Trott from France and was like, hey, you're starting.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, whoa, you can't make that many changes. But a guy that played pretty much every single game in the Premier League last season and got player of the season for his club, I don't think it matters any difference between him and Fabianski. Yeah. I think they're 2 very good goalkeepers.
Yeah.
The right back, ideally, wouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I mean, ideally you're saying that, but I mean, I've been impressed with Ben Johnson as
Don't
of
get me
late.
wrong. I've got no qualms about Johnson playing.
Yeah.
I just don't believe he would have started tomorrow had either of the other two been available.
Yeah.
I'd actually say at the moment, Fredericks played the way Fredericks has played, he'd has played his way in, even in front of Johnson, which is harsh on Johnson.
Yeah.
But I think the actual couple of performances Fredericks put in were very, very high standard.
Yeah.
Obviously, and he's not going to start over Soufal. But you know what? Johnson's played very well at left back. Didn't have a bad game at right back. Was it in the Europa League game where Yarmolenko in front of him? So if he gets to play with someone like Bowen in front of him, who has the work rate and effort that he has, it could be a very promising right hand side.
Yeah.
And then the only other one you're talking about really, again, I don't think Vlasic would have gone in. I think Fornals would start, and I think if this rumour is just rumour and it's just made up and there's nothing behind it, then I don't think Vlasic will start. I think it'd be Fornals.
Yeah.
However, that front three, or not the players, the actual positions, the way Moyes has set us up now, they literally interchange the entire game. It's not the player that makes the position; it's the position and the way they play it, and they all know how to play the three positions. They all interchange and change round. So I don't think Vlasic should have problems coming in. I think he literally he'd go straight in, know how he plays. And the other one's the centre backs. But I said this, I think, last week, before the last Brentford game. I think if you're talking about all the combinations of pairings we've played for the four centre backs this season, I think the most reliable was Bin, Zuma, and Diop.
Yeah.
As a pairing.
I can agree with that.
So
yeah.
The changes, it's 4 changes, but it's 2 tactical, 2 enforced.
Yep.
But when you look at the players,
let me bring this comment up. Freshfielder saying 4 changes will be too much for Moyes. I had Diop in, but he's going to stick with Oggy, as someone said in the chat, which I could see. That's obviously could be an option. I just thought, on the basis of the fact that he's come off not a great couple of games, if I'm being brutally honest, Oggy's not looked himself this season.
No, he's not.
And like you said, Matt, the most compatible pairing that we've saw, or 2 players that, well, apart from Zuma, wasn't fantastic against Brentford. In actual fact, the most consistent central defender, with 2 central defenders we've probably got this season who have not really had any errors, has been Diop and Dawson. To be honest, if you had to really look at it like that. But I mean, it just shows you. I mean, everyone in the chat here is saying a mixture of, I'd say go for it, except for West Ham have got it and recently have drawn or lost. Steve Irons is saying agreed. Matt Fredericks has looked good when played, but I think he has a groin injury. Troj, Everton are a counter-attacking team. They absolutely are. We've addressed that. And I think, West Ham, as much as Everton are a counter-attacking team, both teams are going to get a hold of that ball a lot because they've got players that do that. They've got Decor, who tries to break down the play and drives forward, and West Ham have got Rice and Souček. They've got Townsend, who's got pace, who can get down the wings, and we've got that option as well with Bowen. They've got, they're struggling with forwards because of injuries, but you can never rule out the forwards that any team have got, because typically it's West Ham, and that's just what happens when a player is looking for it as well. Ronda is saying, and Tony Tanti saying, if we're going to have most of the ball, then Diop must play as August too slow. Townsend run past him in a flash. And this is where my point exactly, and this is why I look at the back line and I think that's the paciest back line we can provide with what we've got available in our ranks. And I think that's what we're going to need tomorrow. I really do, mate. I really, really do. So there you go. There is our starting 11, our prediction for the game tomorrow. Big, bold prediction, 4 big changes. Areola in goal, playing a 4-2-3-1 formation. Creswell on the left, Diop partnering Zuma. Johnson on the right, Rice and Souček in the middle. We think Fornals may have picked up an injury, so we're putting Benrahma out on the left, Vlasic through the middle, in behind Antonio, with Bowen out on the right-hand side. And let me just jump up to the comments and see what everyone else has been saying in the chat about starting positions. WHU58, Areola, Johnson, Diop, Zuma, Creswell, Rice, Krall, Fornals, Vlasic, Bowen, and Antonio. Troj is saying Dawson looks like he's going to score most corners. Best I've seen at attacking a corner. Yeah, absolutely, he does. Yeah, he really, really, really does.
Well, he just fully commits, doesn't he? Like most players will run and jump and they're not going to get it. Like, oh, whatever. He just literally lawn darts himself for every ball. Seems enough on the floor, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Right, so if you are watching, we want you to get your predictions in for the game tomorrow. So put them in the comments. Give us your predictions for the game tomorrow. Right, Matt, over to you, mate. What's your predictions? Before you do, though, to let everyone know, we will be doing a live match day live tomorrow, so make sure you do join us. The kickoff is at, I believe,
2 p.m., isn't it?
2 p.m. So we'll try and come to you, about an hour before or so, or whatever. So, yeah, keep an eye on the channel. You'll hopefully get a notification. It'll be up in the morning about what time we're going to go live at. So keep an eye. It'll be about 1-ish, you could say. So keep do that. But anyway, Matt, predictions, mate.
2-1.
Oh, 2-1 away from home, keeping up our recent decent work that we've done against them over the recent times. Yeah. Describe the kind of game you think it's going to be.
I actually think this isn't going to be I'm like, I was talking to my mate at work today, and he was like, he looked at the two games for like Sunday, and he was like, why are the games on Sunday such like a poor selection of games? I don't think it's going to be one for the neutrals tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. You've got two managers that set up counter-attacking football. Both are probably going to have players missing and rotating. It's going to be. I reckon it's going to be a scrappy game.
Yeah,
I really do. And either a couple of mistakes or a couple of pieces of real quality are going to decide it.
So you're still staying with the 2-1
I think we will, but I don't think it's going to be like it's not going to be anywhere near as exciting as like the Brentford game at all.
Right. Okay. Let's have a look and see what everyone is saying in the chat. Droj is saying Everton are counter-attacking team. It's Crosshammer is saying it's going to be a toughie. Troj is saying we need to get back to basics. If we lose, blame the manager from Crosshammer. Freshfield is saying 1-1. Neil from Down Under saying 2-1 West Ham. Fat Ginchenko is saying 3-0 West Ham Yarmo hat-trick. Bernie Bradham is saying 1-0 if we can keep them out. Steve Irons is saying 2-0 and 2-0 Antonio. Anil is saying 2-1 West Ham, won't be easy. Vinay is saying 2-0 to West Ham, Antonio and Suchek. Troj saying 1-1. Ronda and Tony Tanti saying 1-0 West Ham. You're being told to go for a Desmond. Troj thinks it's going to be an ugly game tomorrow. P. Gads is saying 3-2 West Ham win. We go down 2-1. Yarmo and Vlasic win it with the high carry the team all the way to win the quadruple. Leave us, keep the faith, lads. We are massive. 3-1 West Ham. Come on, your hands. London is Clareton Blue. Leave us, what are we, mate? What are we? I know you've just said it, but I just like asking you anyway. WHU 58. We need a win, otherwise it could affect the team's confidence. Given the amount of matches ahead of 2-1 to West Ham. Crazy Call saying 1-0 West Ham. Still should do replay watch logs. Epic Ash time 2-0 if Ariola starts. 2-3 if Fab starts. Guy J saying 1-1. Alan Cook saying 2-1 West Ham, Suchek and Vlasic. I think I'm going to go with the I want to be a little bit different, but I think I'm going to commit to a 2-1 win to West Ham as well. And it'll be interesting. I wonder if it's going to be the similar vibe to I wonder if it's going to have the similar vibe to Leeds away. But I tell you what now, mate, I'll steal a win any day of the week as long as we walk away with that victory.
Well, I think we pretty much steal the win away up there last year.
Yeah.
Didn't Suchek score inside the last 10 minutes?
Yeah. Yep. You can say that again, mate. Listen, our channel sponsors have announced the new prize that's up for grabs this week, and it is 2 hospitality tickets to the West Ham versus Genk game. It only is running for 72 hours, so the competition will end on Monday the 18th, so this Monday at 7:30 p.m. You can get 2 seats, which are located in the West Ham Academy bar, halfway line seats together, block 207 209, access to the Academy Lounge 2.5 hours before kickoff, complimentary drinks at half time, all you can drink at halftime: beers, wines, soft drinks, access to the private cash bar facilities, VIP entrance into the West Stand, program and team sheets to be handed out by the hostesses. Only 24 tickets will be sold. Each ticket will be £9.95. 2 hospitality tickets up for grabs, which means, well, I suppose only one winner will win the 2, so you've got 1 in 24 chance.
Yeah.
1 in 24 chance. Good chance of doing it. So, yeah, good prize from Football Prizes. So I'll put the link in the chat if you're interested in getting involved. And we'll go from there. Matt, player you fear the most from Everton?
Tomorrow. You know what? It's a guy. I actually like him. I do think he can do trouble to us. Is Townsend.
Yeah.
I generally like the bloke. He's got a welding in him. That's the thing. He's still got a bit of pace about him. He's still got a good left foot on that right wing.
Yep.
And he's got a welding in him. He does. So, yeah. There's obvious choices, but the obvious choices are injured. So, yeah.
Fresh fielder saying Duncan Ferguson. We need to keep an eye on him. He'll run around the sidelines, headbutting people left, right, and centre. Right, okay. Player they should fear the most tomorrow.
You know what? He's had 2 weeks off. So I actually can say Antonio.
Right, okay. Yeah. I agree with you as well.
Nice 2 weeks. Hasn't travelled away.
Yeah. Player to fear, Antonio. Player to watch if he starts, Vlasic. A game like that could kickstart his season. So we'll keep an eye on it. Listen, thank you very much for joining us. If you are new around here, please make sure you go across and subscribe to the channel because it really does help us out. It's cool. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, which is massive. We need to get there before the end of the year. That is key. Please leave a comment once the video is done. Please also hit the thumbs up. I don't know how many thumbs up we're on right now, but there's over 100 people watching live. Hit those thumbs up for us. It really does push our channel into the algorithm. So I'm going to keep addressing that right now. Just do that little cheeky thumbs up. If you don't like it, put the thumbs down, but just keep the thumbs up if you can. That would be really, really cool. Mega. And tomorrow, as Fresh Fielder saying, hit the likes. Cross Hammer saying they are a bogey team, and I hope we ain't in the bones on this day. Yep, Neil, we got beaten at the top half before this weekend. Steve Irons saying fear Antonio, hope Antonio hat trick. James Bong, I fear those that fear West Ham legend Fabianski. Come on, hit the like button. P. Gads is saying, yep, upcoming fixtures will be tough. They need a win. Absolutely. We have games coming out of our ears over the next couple of weeks, so bear with us. We're bringing you as much content as we possibly can. Matt, any last words?
Safe travels to anyone travelling up there tomorrow.
Yeah, good shout.
Sunday on Everton is a long commitment. Get behind the boys, anyone that's up there for tomorrow.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like I said, come and join us tomorrow for the match day live. We're doing a watch along, giving you some team news, all that sort of stuff. So looking forward to seeing you then. Thanks for joining us. He's been Stato. I've been Anton. This is the West Ham Network. Come on, you Irons.